Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everybody? What's going on, Chip? Tell you what's going on. Solana, that is what's going on. 135 today. Here's a question. Solana, can XRP recover? So the two go in the same sentence, maybe not. Can XRP recover? Here it is. Rocket ship, Garlinghouse, Deaton, your crypto vote counts. There you go. You go to the polls. When you vote, remember that your crypto vote counts. Put it next to an R, and you're all set.
Your crypto vote counts. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Vote.
Okay. Let's go. You ready to go? Let's do it.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to.
Nice. The old got you on the freeze. Like, whoa, it froze. That was good. It was simultaneous. We didn't even talk about that. So, Jeff, where is everybody, man? Come on. Come on, people now. Come on, people. Let's do it.
Come on, people now.
Come on, everybody. Join together. So the hag known as Elizabeth Warren, there's something weird about her. Like when she wears like a suit, like it's, I don't know, somebody craft her clothes like an elf. I mean, it's just it's a weird, I don't know. It just doesn't look like normal clothing. Like it's always like these bright, weird colors, and she's got those goofy glasses on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and she talks like she knows what she's talking about, but I don't think she knows anything. Look at this. Justin's bringing where he's from. Drop where you're from. What's up, Justin? Drop where you're from. Thanks for reminding us. Yeah, when you pop in here, go ahead and drop where you're from. Kansas. All right, man. This is so she was on CNBC with Becky Quick, and she made a complete ass out of herself. She just kept talking over Becky Quick. So I pulled one little spot of this, and I want to play this because this is kind of like how the whole interview was. But watch what she says when she comes back. Let's watch it. Let's listen to this.
Clarify what his position is, and I would like for him to clarify his position on this. But he's not there to lobby on behalf of a handful of giant banks.
But are you suggesting that his opinion has been drawn up because of these banks?
And the security
I'm sorry, I'll let you talk first, and then you can listen to me. I'll let you talk first, and then you can listen to me. We shouldn't talk over each other. Go ahead.
We shouldn't. Go ahead. You're the one who interrupted.
What
a hag. Right? I mean,
what in the world? Look at that. Look at that.
You're the one that interrupted. This is somebody who thinks she's better than you, Jeff. This is something, she's smarter than you. She's better than all of us. Like, you're the one that interrupted. Like, is this necessary? You go on there. She's trying to ask you questions, and she just kept going on and on and on and on. And it was about Chairman Powell. Now, you know what she's doing now, because it's an election year. We're getting closer to the election day. Because John Deaton has been hammering her so incredibly hard about how she's like her banking bill was written and all that stuff. Now she's pretending to be the Elizabeth Warren that ran 12 years ago, that she's going to come down on the banks. She's going to come down on Chairman Powell. She is going to be the victor. And then she pulls this. You're the one that interrupted. I mean, look at, she asks a question and she just talks about
I want to clarify what his position is, and I would like for him to clarify his position on this. But he's not there to lobby on behalf of a handful of giant banks.
But are you suggesting that his opinion has been drawn up because of these banks?
And the security
I'm sorry, I'll let you talk first, and then you can listen to me.
I'll
let you talk first, and then you can listen to me. We shouldn't talk over each other. Go ahead.
We shouldn't. Go ahead. You're the one who interrupted.
Okay.
She laughs at her. She's like, yeah, the chat's active.
Chat.
Low. Okay, Senator, let me just ask: are you
slow?
Jeff, is that necessary? This is Elizabeth Warren. She's an absolute asshat, Jeff.
She is just such an ass. Rafi, hey guys, casino going multi
here. He's going on other. Let's get Daniel back on here.
He's been doing some great stuff on X. We definitely got to get him back. Want to hear what's going on. Going multi-chain. That's some serious interoperability, similar to where Flare's going. Flare's putting up. I've never seen Hugo post so much. the whole time Flair's been out. Now he's just hammering it, just nonstop. So XRP came out with something that Chip and I actually spent like the first 15 minutes of the show talking about, then realized we weren't live. No.
Exactly.
We're like, oh no. But anyhow, so XRP said, would Ripple use the escrow to fund the RL USD stablecoin? So we were talking about that and trying to figure out how, in fact, would they fund it? What would they back it with? Is it a basket of goods, basket of assets, crypto assets, fiat currencies, or is it going to be based on a basket of USD? Now, are they going to sell some of the escrow to back up the stablecoin so they have an account sitting somewhere with USD? And if it is a stablecoin and the valuation of XRP changes, then they have to continuously fund the account in order to balance out and make sure their coin stays stable.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like, I remember there was this project a couple years ago, and they were going to build on the XRPL, and they said it was going to be backed by gold, their token. And then somebody asked the obvious question of like, well, how much gold do you have? Like, we don't have any. I'm like, well, how is it going to be backed by gold, right? So if you have a stable coin, it has to be backed by real world assets, the whole thing, right? It's the whole idea. So what are they going to do? They're going to back it with the escrow? Like, where is the actual, what is it going to be backed with? Like, Tether supposedly is backed by gold, some precious metals, some bonds. There's like a whole bunch of, and again, the jury's still out whether that's really backed by anything, but it has to be backed by something. Now, if you think about it, the US dollar is not backed by anything, right? Most fiat's backed by a wing and a prayer and a promise that we all agree. We have an agreement as a society that this is worth what it says on the paper, or whatever. Some have plasticky sort of, right? And that's what it is, Jeff. So it's like the basket of deplorables, says Mark Smithson. All right. Yeah, a little bit.
I'm trying to figure this one out here, Chip. Jim says, is the chat active? We said yes. Then he said, there's no chat in the video stream. Yet, Jim, you're chatting through the video stream, potentially.
You might have closed the window by mistake. I don't know. Let us know, guys, if that's actually the case. We could always open it up, but it is active.
And again, YouTube with a low, slow rollout.
Yeah, no shot.
112, the majority of which are now over on X.
I just hope X continues to create a better experience. If they do, they're going to win. And again, it's a non-censored platform versus the censored platform and the shadow banning and all that stuff. You don't see, he sees no chat, but we see. How are you chatting then? No, he's doing that.
Where are you chatting from?
You might have to open a window and look at that, Jeff. In the meantime,
let's roll into YouTube.
I had responded to
how much Elizabeth Warren supports crypto. Sorry.
I had responded to something that John Deaton had posted, and I put this little clip on here, and then so John went ahead and reposted that, and he said, Becky, quick, Elizabeth Warren isn't the only one who seeks clarification. The voters want to know why Senator Warren is so hell-bent on banning self-custody and use of Bitcoin. And then crypto, when our country, especially Massachusetts, faces multiple crises, including illegal immigration. So out of control governor declared a state of emergency and then asked residents to open their homes to undocumented, unknown individuals from around the globe, including from countries that sponsor terrorism. Depending on the month, we rank second or third, this is Massachusetts, as the most expensive state to live in the country. In addition to high inflation causing long-term price increases, we have massive housing crisis, debt crisis, along with an opioid epidemic. 50% of the fentanyl entering the Commonwealth is from the Yuma border crossing. We have homeless combat veterans who shamelessly don't get a priority over illegal immigrants. He said migrants, I call them immigrants. Affordability of healthcare and prescription drugs must be addressed. And on top of those domestic issues, the world is in chaos. From Iran and the Houthi in the Red Sea, Israel, Gaza, Russia, Ukraine seems to be escalating with Putin sending nuclear-powered submarines and warship off the coast of Cuba, only 90 miles from American soil. Now they're supposedly, Jeff, the new one is they're in Miami Harbor. That's what I've heard. That was like the new one. Yet despite all the above and more, Warren is either focused on protecting people from crypto. So maybe Senator Warren is willing to come back on CNBC with Becky Quick and myself to discuss the issue between the two of us, Becky. Maybe someone will get a word in edgewise. You gotta love that. Don't mess with John Deaton, man. I mean, she's gonna do everything not to debate, Jeff. Yes, true or false?
Oh, she won't debate.
What's up, Charles?
She definitely won't debate.
XRP, hey XRP fam, Chip and Jeff. This is a great day, week, and month. Great year. And what is ECD with? What is what? ECD.
What is up?
Ethereum. What was up with it? Yeah. So yeah, Ethereum got, I guess, a pseudo free pass. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. I'm still skeptical. I'm not. Something doesn't pass the sniff test here. Everyone's celebrating, popping bottles, as Jungle likes to say, Jungle Link, but I'm not exactly following it. And then Brian Costello tagged Elon Musk on my the one that I put up here. He tagged Elon Musk and said, "Senator Karen in full force." So it was
Rob, where's the bin chicken?
Yeah, where's the bin chicken? What's up, bin chickens?
What's up, Rob?
What's up, Rob? What's up, Rob? So the new thing you see all over the internet, Jeff, is like when we talk about Trump is a felon. Trump is like, he's got 34 counts, 34, Jeff, count them, 34 counts. Yet, if you ask anybody, 34. You say, what was he actually convicted of? They're like, they don't know. You ask attorneys, what was he convicted of? Like, 34 counts. 34 counts of what? Like, what was the actual crime? Nobody can actually list the crime. 34 counts, right? So Vivek had an interesting guest on, and this is stuff we brought up here. This is stuff we brought up here before, but listen to the guest, Jeff, and tell me if this doesn't sound like something we've talked an awful lot about here.
I just finished at one point. Hillary Clinton was found by the Federal Election Commission in 2022. She was found that in that same election, 2016 presidential election, she spent money on the Steele dossier, the famous Steele dossier.
Oh, that's a great point. I love
the famous Steele dossier, which Gary Gensler was the bag man on.
That's right.
He wrote the check.
He was a CEO,
right?
The CFO.
He was the CFO. Got that exchange with Warren. Warren. I was going to say Warren Davidson, though, with Byron Donalds on that one.
Love that.
And they booked, though, in the books of the Clinton campaign, they booked them as legal expenses. And the FEC actually determined 2022, those weren't legal expenses. Those were campaign expenses. And you falsely called them legal expenses. And that's a campaign finance violation. And
that's a real campaign.
The Clinton campaign was made to pay, thousands of dollars in fines. This is an actual determination by the FEC that seems to be a determination that they did exactly what Bragg was accusing Trump of having done.
Actually, it's not exactly. The money was spent, filed as a legal expense. They took it from campaign funds.
Right.
The others came from a personal or business fund.
Right.
Two different things. Had nothing to do with campaign, nothing to do with the election in that scenario.
It's actually a more egregious crime to actually use election funds. It was actually determined to be campaign finance related. And then it was like, well, I'll just pay this fine. Yeah, okay, great. And it was a ridiculous fine on top of it.
And they're located, that campaign was headquartered in New York, and there was no prosecution of them.
Nothing.
Not of Hillary or anybody associated with the campaign for falsifying business records to cover up a campaign finance. So that might be the comparator that could actually serve to prove a selective prosecution. In this case, I guarantee you that'll be Exhibit 1 in the Trump team's appeal on their selective prosecution.
It should be. I think that's very compelling.
And Trump supports crypto.
Yeah, that's all you have to know. Yeah, it's so funny that
crypto.
Trump had said in the rally that if you're, he doesn't want to tax the tips. So what is everybody doing every time they leave a tip? They're writing on the check, vote Trump. He won't tax your tips. So that's like everywhere. Right. So
don't
Kid Rock
tax the tips.
Don't tax the tips. Somebody else accused them on Twitter of giving handouts, just like Joe, and for giving loans. I'm like, well, is it handouts or is it a policy related? That's tax policy related, right?
Right.
Paying for someone's student loans, the Supreme Court weighed in on and said it was
unconstitutional.
Constitutional. They did it anyway. It's like, well, who's going to stop them, right? I mean,
two different scenarios. Here, you're letting people keep their money that they earned. The other, you're giving people other people's money that they didn't earn to pay for something that is frivolous.
Oh, that they signed an agreement saying that they would pay it back over a course of X amount of years. So listen, they're like, well, they must have been coerced, Jeff. Well, that's what happens when you got that, ridiculous degree that people can't A, pronounce, and B, there's no title, a job you can get in the future. So, or anywhere.
What is that? A wolf and a moon.
Apex Crypto's in the house.
I think that's a wolf. I can't tell. Looks like a mooning wolf.
Dog moon. Moon dog.
Moon dog.
Nobody knows what that means. I'm not good with these emojis.
Therefore, based on the information available, it is likely that Ripple can use the XRP and the escrow to fund its RL USD stablecoin. I don't know if it can.
Yeah, I don't know. There's certain rules around that. Well, I just don't know how they're going to back it. So they announced it, and then there was Apex. They talked about it, but there's zero details on it, and we still don't know when it's going to be released. Like, we're thinking second, third, fourth quarter. Nobody knows when it's going to actually be released. So
hard to say.
Of course it's hard to say, but like, I would think you would announce it pretty close to the time you're actually going to look at this, Jeff.
They're going to wait.
Really interesting here. Mason Lighthouse tweeted this out. He said, "Hey, while I was at XRPL Apex, I learned some amazing things about a specific hook on the ZOW network that you can install a hook that sends your complete balance to another wallet in case of no activity for a pre-designated amount of time. So my wife has no real clue what I do with my crypto wallet, but with this hook installed, if I die and there's no activity in my wallet for, let's say, 2 weeks, my complete balance can be sent to another wallet. For instance, a trusted third party who then could release the balance to my wife. Or if I understand it correctly, you could even install a second hook that would then exchange my crypto for fiat and send it back to her bank account. But then you could also use this hook in case you got locked out of your wallet, you lost your keys, it would all be sent to a backup wallet. Now, how cool is that? Zao network and hooks rock. You creativity is your limit. This thanks support from Zumwalt for the cool example. And on top of that,
however, what if you get locked out of your second wallet because you don't remember how to access it?
Well, then you have it sent to a third wallet. That wallet keeps sending it to wallets
eventually
until it comes. And what if that wasn't? I was like, so how many are you going to set up? 15 wallets in case that's like a lot. It sends it to a third wallet and a fourth wallet. So Chris even kind of came in and like one up that. He goes, that's cool. Let me just expand this. But here's an even better one. A cooling off hook. Now imagine your keys are compromised and someone then tries to drain the account. A hook prevents the transfer, puts it on a time lock, which then requires both an elapsed period of time and or a second signature, so you can be as creative as you wish. Lots of ways to figure it. Now that makes more sense. That's clever.
Yeah, I like that.
Right? So yeah, that cooling off period where someone thinks they're scamming you and sorry, the hook is taken over. It's creative stuff. It's every once in a while you get somebody who's thinking and they actually put some thought out there.
These are kind of like when you're on Uphold or what is it? What's the other? I don't know. One of the other exchanges. A couple different exchanges. When you go to move any of your assets, it sends you have to put in the code, then it sends you an email, and you have to go through like 3 stages of verification to move anything.
Yeah.
And then you finally move it. But that's the
wrong wallet address then, or you forget
and then you put the wrong wallet and then you're screwed. So you went through all of that and you're like, oh shit, I copied and pasted somebody else's wallet address. Unless you're typing it out, but if you're copying it, well, I guess if you copy the wrong one, oh, that's it. But true. BitTrue. BitTrue is the one that does that with the email. I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
Jeff, have you ever seen these contrast videos? Yeah, BitTrue. Have you ever seen these contrast videos where they show one person doing this and they show the other person simultaneously doing the same thing? Mm-hmm. Well, look at this clip right here and tell me which one looks like the leader. Oops. Ready?
That's my favorite one there on the right. He just pushes his way through. I love it.
Pushes through, stands right in front. The other one's wandered off. Nobody knows where, you had to have the.
And then they gather around him.
Italian prime minister's like, okay, who doesn't even care for Biden, and has to like, hey, buddy. Yeah. And then when he was wandering, when he was in that fundraiser with Obama, and he grabbed him by the arm. Well, people were this was mind blowing to me. People were posting an edited clip. They said it never happened. It never happened. And then somebody took that clip and put the one that was zoomed out the whole time, and they're like, "That's a deep fake." What do they call it? What does Jean Pierre's call it? She calls it a deep. I don't know.
Whatever.
Some other.
It's so unbelievable because even the one they claimed was the real one. You're going through, he's waving, and then all of a sudden Obama's walking him off the stage, and he's just so he's just so zoned out. But then they cut, like the camera goes black for a second, then they come back up. I'm like, so you just edited out the part where he had to grab his arm and hand because he's zoned out. And you look at his face and his mouth structure and the eyes, and that's the guy that's gonna be here to support crypto. I don't get it.
I keep telling you, he's not going to be on the ballot.
This guy.
I keep telling you, he's not going to be on the ballot. And the whole reason that they scheduled a debate within 2 weeks is so that they can pull him, because he's going to just get destroyed. Now we got to buy one, get one free with Biden, just like we did with Slick Willie. Oh boy. Slick Willie. That's some funny stuff right there. Slick. Look at this from Stu Alderati. Let's see this right here. Where's our pal?
Closed the keep file by mistake.
Here we go.
Oops.
The SEC is raging. Ripple defended itself, agreeing to nothing. The court gave clarity that XRP is not a security. There are no victims to compensate. And worst of all, for the SEC, Ripple is thriving. But at least SEC seems to have abandoned its absurd demand for $2 billion. This is the whole thing, but now we're finding out, Jeff. I mean, much like the Trump case, right? That he was convicted of 34 counts. It's like all of these things. Like, it doesn't matter if it follows any rule of law. What about the case with Bragg in New York, where they said, "Hey, Mar-a-Lago is only worth 18 million inflated," and they brought his bank and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll love to do business with him again." Well, what was he convicted on? Like, for what? Overinflating. I mean, the banks do due diligence. They don't just give you the money because you said it was worth X. They don't care. They don't care, right? It's just it's a sad state of affairs, Jeff. I don't know what we're gonna do, but sad state of affairs.
The whole thing, just so bad, all the way around. It's just the whole thing. Waza, what's up, man? Waza's here, and it's morning, which is pretty cool. Like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. on whatever day it is. Lots of good stuff here. The most patient I've ever been about anything in my entire life, waiting for XRP. That
is very true.
Man, oh man.
A buddy of mine texted me today and he said, "Is XRP ever going to do anything?" I told him about it a couple of years ago. And I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe not.
Venture on X was saying that
maybe yes, maybe no.
If it hits $3 again, there'll be no liquidity because everybody will be selling. I'm like, $3? I go, dude, everybody will be selling when it hits $1. I mean, forget about $3. I mean, what are you gonna? I mean, $3. I mean, geez.
Man. So, talking about that, man, we've got. We just talk about. Were you talking about XRP Venture?
Yeah, XRP Venture. Yeah.
So, man, we haven't seen these guys on here in a little while. Spanish Fly and that whole group. But Crypto Sifu was saying Sol supports devs, Sol incentivized infrastructure. Solana is Solana, RippleNet is RippleNet, not XRPL. Joe Katz knows that. But XRP Venture was saying, I was thinking the same thing earlier today. What did Sol get right that Ripple and XRP got so wrong?
He nailed it.
There was a whole conversation, but that was taken off from where you were at. What would get to the 384? Said I still can't. Spanish Fly said I still can't believe Sol's at 133, and its blockchain is riddled with issues. What do you think? If you were to look at this just on its face, where we stand today, not what might not happen in the future, may or may not happen, on its face, why is Solana moving at such a higher price point than where XRP is at right now?
It's a lot what Jim said is like they really encouraged the ecosystem. They were able to, support projects. The thing about the difference of Solana, I mean, XRP was birthed out of was gifted to the company Ripple.
What's this? Oh, they posting stuff on there. Can't even scroll.
So Ripple itself was gifted. What was it called back then? It wasn't XRP, right? But the point of it is that a lot of Ripple's a company. It's a private company that happens to leverage the XRP and XRPL, right? It created the XRPL. The difference with Solana is a blockchain. Solana is not a company out to make a profit. Solana is out to, is it a private company? I mean, it's like the Solana, they have their own foundation. But again, it's to grow the ecosystem. Ripple's number one goal is to grow Ripple. And as it should be, it's a private company. They have a fiduciary responsibility to shareholders, and that's what they're doing. So they don't care. They care about you. I mean, really, Jeff. It's a little bit.
And I like seeing the discourse within the community. You have to have a conversation about it. You have to look at where these different projects are going. You have to look at the different assets, and for them to look, and talk about like the commentary was really focused on the development, the investment. What is it going to take to get to the next level? Where's the community going to build, and where do they have the passion and the faith of right now, right here and now? People that buy XRP end up holding XRP there, and it just seems like everybody wants it suppressed right now. But there also isn't a lot of mainstream within the community mainstream recognition of XRPL being a platform for developing on yet. But small caps, I think, brings up an interesting point here too. I don't know about this comment, at least, be civil in commentary. There's no reason to attack and just be oppressive and belittle somebody. Just have a conversation. But he said the main focus of XRP is for institutions and national states to move trillions instantaneously. I don't know about nation states. I would say financial institutions. I think XRP overall was built for moving large sums of money and doing it efficiently. I think what Ripple is showing with RippleNet, that it may or may not be needed at this point. I think that was the original intent. I don't think the price will be set. The price still needs to be agreed upon by the larger community, which is both retail and financial institutions combined. I don't think at that point, again, my opinion, the institutions need a higher valuation for XRP. You can simply move whatever sum of XRP that you need until you start getting to a point where you're moving more than the available quantity of XRP in the open market that can be acquired if they need to flow through it. If you need more liquidity, you need more valuation. If they're going to be using XRP, then maybe at that point it goes up. Here's just so much commentary here. I think there's kind of maybe a lot of hope or hopium built in to some of the rants that people go into, and then there's a lot of reality. I like what XRP venture is really getting into. Here's where we're at right now today. I agree that it's not life-changing money. The whole point on my post simply to say that people are getting very tired of sub $1. I think we at 2 or 3, they may be very tempted to take profit and move on with their life after waiting 5 years to moon. And I would agree with that. And you commented most would sell at $1.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that people people are a little frustrated. These are just retail holders, Chip. We're not talking about developers and, people that are trying to build and not getting the backing or support. We're getting into this is just the emotional feeling from the community.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff bubbling up. I mean, because the law got clarity and it's still not being used. You don't even hear Ripple talk about XRP. I'm sure they want to be done with this lawsuit, but it was ruled not a security, and it was the way they packaged up and sold it that was the security, right? And this is why all this stuff around ETH getting people are like, well, if you believe in crypto, yeah, okay, so Consensus put out a post on X saying that they were showing the letter where the SEC, they're not going to continue to step forward. They're not going to go forward with any sort of, okay, great. But you know what? That's not a free pass. I mean, don't forget, they went after Kraken, they paid a fine, and they came back after them. So people are like, I think they're celebrating a little too soon on this one. Okay, maybe not for this, but doesn't mean it's dead in the water. There's no clarity like, oh, you know what? We just decided that it's mass exodus, of course, at $1. There's no doubt about it, Jeff. No doubt.
Jerry, 10:40 a.m. over there in Australia. There we go. Now it's not 10:40 anymore. It's 10:48 a.m.
10:40.
I like this Jacob's ladder. Please lie to me. I can't handle the truth. PP. Can XRP recover? Didn't know there was an issue. I don't know. It's not really an issue. I'm just referencing what people are talking about within the community at large. I think there's a lot of emotion on both, just like we said, from the retail as well as the dev side of things, just seeing overall what's going on in other communities, on other chains, in the here and now, not where we're looking into the future. So the question is, where does it go? Does it go? It hasn't seen much movement. Where some of these projects, Chip, what was I looking at earlier? And I brought it up, and we're like, holy crap, we can't believe it was at that number. It was at 26. Airweave.
Oh yeah,
Arweave, right? Is at $26 right
which
now.
We've used because we've had to use it to buy the token to be able to post on there. It's for NFTs. It's crazy.
Stellar is sitting at 37 and its 37th spot at 9 cents right now. Hedera H bar is at 8 cents, which is really it's just interesting to look and then try to figure out what is moving one over another. Where's Litecoin? $73.
XRP's knocked out of the top 10.
XRP sitting at number 8 right now at 49 cents. Doge is trailing behind. There's a big gap on the market cap of 10 billion, but it's a nice little number. $10 billion difference in market cap. Then the others are relatively close. It starts dropping. But what else do we have up here? Lido staked Ether. Solana at 135. Got BNB. I'm still surprised that BNB is hanging in there, considering everything that happened with Binance. However, you have other projects that are built and utilizing the asset and the space. So again, it comes down to what exactly is happening overall. What are they doing? Why are these projects or these assets moving at a different scale and a different pace? Ethereum at 3,500, while Bitcoin is down by like $6,000 from the 70,000 it hit. Ethereum sitting at 35. You could say maybe it's not rational, or maybe it's the focus of mainstream media pushing Bitcoin and Ethereum, or maybe it's all the ERC20s out there that's keeping Ethereum at these high numbers. Stuff you just got to think about.
Yeah, I don't know, but obviously, look, you go where the people are, right? That's why. Yeah. That's why we're releasing our next project over there, because that's where people are that are getting excited about it. That's where NFTs are flying off the shelf. Another Elizabeth Warren. Wow. Warren said that Donald Trump's only major legislative accomplishment was a $2 trillion tax cut, mostly sucked up by millionaires, billionaires, and giant corporations. The guys he's now begging for money to pay his legal bills and fund his campaign. Well, first of all, Jeff, I
make
remember
anything up
because I remember it showing up. Like when that went in effect, everybody remembers it. That's what they said, it was millionaires and billionaires, but no, millionaires and billionaires don't pay taxes, dummy. I mean, don't you understand? I mean, they don't pay taxes. I mean, you remember that when Chappelle was on Saturday Night Live and he said the greatest thing about Donald Trump was he said right to Hillary Clinton, he goes, "I don't pay my taxes." It's the code, right? If you don't like it, you and your friends don't pay taxes either, right? So this is the whole thing. You have like, so it wasn't millionaires and billionaires. It was, it was normal people. And basically what I said was, well, Biden had the opportunity to repeal those tax cuts, the Trump, tax cuts, but we both know that won't happen during an election year. It's time to move on from this ineffective politicians in Washington. Vote John Deaton, bring new leadership and retire old Betsy, right?
Right.
He had chance 2 years ago. He didn't do it, passed on it, right? So go ahead. That'd be a brilliant move. You seem to be imploding this year. I love every move they make. I love it because, why interrupt your enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves? If they're destroying themselves, please, I just sit back, get the popcorn, and just watch them go. So, what do you think is going to come of that? Nothing.
Nothing's going to come of it at this point. They like to talk. They like to pander to the electorate. Right about now, they like doing little gimmicky things for the electorate, just to try to show that they're actually supporting the little guy. And it just happens over and over again. It's just, that's why things are different this time around. People have woken up, spent the past 3 years waking up. And I think the silent giant has finally awoken. Might be a smaller giant, but there's still a lot of people that are sleeping or choose to stay sleeping. But it's woken.
How small do you have to be where you're still not good enough to be with the big giants, but you're kind of like borderline, right? So I was wondering what that was.
What's up, XRP.369? It's got that picture of the vent in the Mercedes. The AC vent looks like an XRP. They forecasted.
There you go. Look at this, Jeff. Crypto Eddie put this out. Researching the petrodollar agreement ending turns out to be a fake story. Paul Donovan, chief economist at UBS Global Wealth Management, remarked that the fake story becomes surprisingly widespread, providing another lesson about the pitfalls of confirmation bias. Here it is right here. Weekly updates. Google Trends reporting an astonishing spike in searches for petrodollars in the past 2 weeks, highest on record. Apparently because a viral story on June 9th, Saudi Arabia failed to renew the secret 50-year deal with the U.S. to keep oil prices in dollars. Well, we saw that everywhere, Jeff. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia did establish a joint commission for economic cooperation in 1974. The aim was to help Saudi Arabia spend its sudden glut of dollars on U.S. products. In July of that year, Saudi agreed to invest in oil dollars and treasuries. This was kept confidential until 2016. Oil has always been traded in non-dollar currencies. In January 23, Saudi indicated it was happy to negotiate oil sales in other currencies. The possibility of changes little for the financial markets. And then this one right here where he says, this is a reminder of confirmation bias. The story seems to have started in the crypto world. Crypto influencers, remember? Many crypto speculators desperately want to believe that the dollar's demise. Confirmation bias encourages people to ignore what if is realistic if their prejudices seem confirmed. It's poor investment strategy.
That's right.
Your thoughts on that? It's pretty interesting. Petrodollar. It's any.
The petrodollar.
And what's going on? Nothing.
What we've been hearing from the YouTube communities, the end of the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar domination on decline, on steady decline. No longer will the U.S. dollar be a reserve currency, and it's going to be replaced by BRICS. And the BRICS currency. Now, that's wishful thinking on the side of BRICS that'll happen, but you got to see that BRICS nations have gone back to the U.S. dollar because there is no BRICS currency that anyone's willing to rely on. None of them are what you would call stable, right? I mean, it's just like, what's the point? You can keep talking, people can make stuff up. They can spread the misinformation. They can try to analyze things and do it incorrectly. and then they'll talk as though it's with somewhat of authority, able to sit, it's just very bizarre. But XRP bits 24 days away from the 1-year Ripple win anniversary, when Judge Torres ruled XRP was not in and of itself a security. That was a big win for the community at large. I think that was at the moment where XRP kind of stands on its own as being the one currency, the one digital currency, the one cryptocurrency that has legal authority that it is not or at least court ruling, I should say, that it is not a security. That's it. That's all we've got. No. Mark Smithson, my 1040 and 1120 corporate taxes were never lower than under Trump, and I'm not a billionaire. There you go. It's because everything has gone up over the past 3 years. It's your taxes are going up, property taxes are going up, interest rates have skyrocketed, the cost of food has gone up 30% plus, cost of oil has gone up, cost of pretty much all goods have gone up, cost of food in restaurants has gone up extraordinarily high. Tips at restaurants has gone up from the 15 to 18% to the 18, 20, and 25%. And in some cases, they're asking for 28% on tips. Not sure what they're getting paid from the restaurants, but everything is going up. Cost of everything. And it's happened in such a short cycle over the past 3 years. For the most part, the value of the US dollar is going down. Cost of goods is going up, but the value of our dollar is going down because you can buy less with it. You can't get as much as you got 3 years ago. And that's maybe how they try to take it and kind of interpret the way things are going, Chip. It's rough.
Yes. Well, breaking news here. I just got some breaking news. Got a breaking text here.
El Paso, Texas. That's
I got a
right there. Richard.
Watertown, man.
All right, breaking news. Breaking news. You've heard it here first.
That's some breaking news here.
Chip is going to announce it.
Let me do it right here. So yeah, I just got
Hang on.
Water. There you go.
Wait. Hang on.
Get that ready. I'm about ready to hit. Yeah.
Wrong one. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. You gotta blink when it's ready because I can't hear it.
Hear it. One more time.
I can't hear it because of crisp. You gotta blink when it's ready to go.
One more time. Oh, now it won't even let me play it. It's
ooh.
Ready?
There it goes. Oh,
there it is.
Boom.
Oh,
there it is. So,
wasn't it?
So anyway, John Deaton just appeared on Howie Carr. You know Howie Carr, right?
Howie Carr.
Howie Carr is phenomenal. He runs a podcast, a radio show. He runs a radio show for years. My God, I remember listening to Howie Carr 20 years ago. Hardcore conservative, but he had John Deaton on. Mm-hmm. So listen to it. Tell me if you can hear this.
Is
right.
This hour is talking.
Can you hear that or no?
Yeah, turn it up.
Okay. Talk to the one of the Republican U.S. Senate candidates in Massachusetts, John Deaton. And it's good to have you with us, John. Thanks for being on the Howie Carr Show.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Howie. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
When you walked in the door, I said, what the hell is Brian Albert doing here? I told you I had to give you
I'm a lot friendlier than I look, Howie.
Okay. You don't have a dog named Chloe either, do you? That you rehomed in Vermont.
No.
Okay. All right. I just had to mention that. We were having some sport at the Coneheads lately, but you don't work for the state police. You're not in Dedham testifying, et cetera, et cetera. So you're running against the fake Indian, correct?
I am running against Elizabeth Warren. That is correct.
And so now tell us, you're as a Republican, you're on the ballot, you have competition. So you're getting ready for the primary in September.
Yes, the primary is September 3rd. I'm confident that I'll be the Republican nominee. And I'll tell you who else is confident, Howie, that it'll be me, Elizabeth Warren, because St. Patrick's Day breakfast, she made a joke about the book that I wrote. Her
holding it up. Food stamp warrior.
She joked about that, uttered my name the very first day I announced. I told my campaign, Howie, I said, listen, I have this ability to snack to get under people's skin pretty quick. And they said, John, she's going to ignore you until September. The very first day I announced, she started tweeting about me, talking about me. I have friends calling me from Illinois and Texas who are getting her emails because they're Democrats that I do business with in my law firm. John, you got to hear this. You got to read. And they're reading me what she's saying about me as a serious threat to the seat. She also says I'm a threat to
I thought she was concerned about the big issues like sandwich meat.
Yeah. Well, she's going to be concerned about John Deaton. She already is. And she's going to get more concerned as this race moves on, because I'm telling you, Howie, we can take this seat.
She is you've seen the polls. She's the most unpopular Democrat office holder in the Commonwealth.
Sure. Let's not forget, I saw a 41% approval rating. And when she ran for president, she couldn't even take second. She couldn't take second and finished third behind Biden and Bernie. So there is vulnerability here. And it's one of the reasons I got in the race, because she's never faced someone like me, for example, income inequality. She likes to use that political slogan and talk about the wealth gap. Well, I grew up as poor as you get, and I'm going to eat her lunch when it comes to those issues. I have a different method, a different approach. I'm about uplifting people, not dividing them and not attacking people. And it's going to be very interesting. I think people are going to choose the uplifting message over the other.
Now, I got to ask you about the fact that, not that she's a native of the state, she drifted in from Oklahoma there, and then Pennsylvania, Texas, et cetera, but you didn't live in the Commonwealth until recently, did you?
Well, I did, but let me tell you, I welcome this question, Howie, and I appreciate you asking it, because I challenge anyone and all voters. I welcome them to compare Massachusetts credentials. Let's start with the fact that when I got to law school in Boston at New England School of Law, I was selected by the Marine Corps to represent the Commonwealth. I couldn't get into Harvard or afford Harvard, but I beat out Harvard Law, BC, BU, Suffolk, and I was chosen to represent the Commonwealth for the 1994 Marine Corps Law Judge Advocate. I lived in Roxbury my first year. I lived in East Boston my second year. I lived in Malden my third year. I worked at Legal Seafood for 4 years at Copley. For the last 22
What'd you
years,
do at Legal?
I was a waiter at Legal Seafood for 4 years. But after I got out of the Marine Corps, Howie, for the last 22 years, I've been a licensed attorney in Massachusetts representing working families, people that get mesothelioma and lung cancer caused by asbestos. So here's what I've been doing. The entire Commonwealth, we're talking dozens and dozens of cities and towns. I've represented plumbers, pipe fitters, sailors, shipyard workers, sheetrockers, auto mechanics, the working class for 2 decades.
She represented the asbestos companies, correct?
She represented Travelers Insurance. So I'm glad you point that out. So she says she's for the little guy. So when you talk about asbestos litigation, she tried to help asbestos victims working for Travelers, while I actually represent the actual victims. And that's what happens when you get to in the mind of a Washington elite. Only one of those people in DC would think you're going to help the victims by working for the insurance company that is not paying the victims. And so I welcome that comparison. Just so you know, I sued the government on behalf of over 700 individual Massachusetts token holders. I went up against the Securities Exchange Commission.
Token
holders, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, digital currency. The government, the SEC, basically engaged in gross overreach. They hurt regular people, including hundreds of Massachusetts token holders. And pro bono, I sued the SEC and I won. And the judge ruled in favor of what I was proposing. I was the amicus counsel on the case. Mm-hmm. My daughter graduated just last month from UMass Amherst. Did she get arrested at the hippie demonstrations? No, she didn't get arrested at all. And we could talk about
these are things I write about, and I make sport of, like the cone heads. But yeah, so
but the point I was making is that when we look at who has the most extensive contact with working families across the Commonwealth for the last 22 years, mm-hmm. it's by far me.
But you lived in your legal domicile was Rhode Island until fairly recently.
Yes, I live in Swansea, but I did live on the border of Seekonk and Rhode Island. And so, yes, that is true. But I've been a licensed attorney, just so you know, for the last 2 decades, I've been practicing, trying cases in Lowell, Brockton, and Suffolk County courthouses in my asbestos practice. So I've been in the Commonwealth every day for the last 22 years.
I'm going to guess you could get around the city of Boston in an automobile a lot more easily than she could.
For sure. There's no doubt. I like I said, when I got here to Massachusetts, I grew up in a place called Highland Park, Detroit. That's where I was born. One of the worst neighborhoods in America. You can look it up. And when I got to Boston, I was a huge, Larry Bird fan. Yes, even in Detroit, I was a Bird fan. So I was ostracized.
What about McFilthy and McNasty? You remember who Johnny Most was talking about, right? Lambier.
Oh, Lambier and Mahorn.
Mahorn,
yes,
right.
Lambier and Mahorn, pretty nasty players, no doubt.
McFilthy and McNasty.
I was a big fan of those.
Listen, when I got to Boston, they were still talking about Bill Buckner letting it go through his legs. So I came here because
don't bring back those bad memories.
But the reality is, when I got here, I lived in Roxbury because I couldn't afford, expensive rent. And so I was accustomed to living in the inner city. And so I don't know if Senator Warren could even find Roxbury, just to give an example.
What part of Roxbury?
Right near what's now Malcolm X Park, but it's right near Washington. It was called Washington Park before they renamed it Malcolm X.
Okay. Near Dudley Square before they renamed it Nubian Square. Or close enough.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now are these that we got full lines with Deaton questions? Are these seminar callers for you, John, or are these people that just called in volunteer? Do you think? I guess I should ask your campaign manager this. Seminar? He claims he doesn't know. I guess that's.
Anyway, that was just some breaking news, so you guys can watch this. I'm going to go ahead and put this link in there because it's coming up on time here, guys. But anyway, I thought it was pretty fascinating. Howie Carr is an institution in Massachusetts, and I've listened to him a long time, like his radio show. But here you go, right there. There it is.
That was outstanding. I think, we're going to see some big things coming out of John Deaton come November. I'm expecting a big victory, expecting an upset, and get rid of Elizabeth Warren once and for all. Push her to the history's garbage dump.
The bin chickens.
With the rest, she can play with the bin chickens. We'll send her to down under. She can go hang out with the bin chickens in the garbage dumps, and that's it. A real life Boston Tea Party. That's what we need. We just got to get rid of all of this pollution that has just stifled Washington for so long. It's time for it to go. It's time for some new blood, some new opinions. Base it off of constitutional values, and we're good to go. And it's interesting because John Deaton posted this. We know that Cuban is a big supporter of Deaton. But then he kind of differs on some other stances in politics. It doesn't always make sense. Met Lawman and Mark Cuban right there. Pictured John Deaton. Look at that. Two American entrepreneurs who care about this country and furthering American innovation. I'm proud. Both have publicly supported me in my Senate race. Thank you, Mark Cuban and Meta Lawman. Even if we don't always agree on every issue, I'll be someone you can be proud of supporting. And I think that goes a long way because he's right. But they're coming together because they see him. They see the upset. They see the need to get rid of Elizabeth Warren. They see the big support, everything that John Deaton represents for entrepreneurship, the cryptocurrency, markets in the U.S., innovation in the U.S., instead of pushing everything offshore. Warren represents the opposite, polar opposite. She wants to undermine entrepreneurship in this country. She wants to make it harder for people to make money and keep money. And she wants to push all innovation offshore. And to boot, They want to bring in all the illegals into this country to basically displace Americans in this country. And that's a very dangerous game that they're playing. Not only does she want to undermine our economy, but she wants to make it more dangerous for anybody to walk down the street. That's part of their overall initiative and game plan. If they can keep you subservient, locked in your houses, not safe to walk the streets, not safe to have your kids on the streets, not safe to go to the grocery store where you might be accosted at any moment. They would prefer to have chaos reigning and security diminished in order to maintain power. But that's not going to happen because we have people like John Deaton, and you have a lot of these bigger entrepreneurs and people that love freedom, even though, again, they might not agree on every issue. The one thing that they do agree on is the exceptionalism of this country. And that's what we need, Chip. We need more people that believe passionately in the exceptionalism of this country. And we're saying that because we're in this country and we have a big vote coming up. But Chip, the one thing I'm seeing is that there's groups, just like we have groups here, that believe passionately in the exceptionalism of their country, and they're fighting back. We're seeing it on the streets in Ireland. We're seeing it in Germany. We're seeing it in Italy. And we're seeing it other countries around the world that are finally willing to step up. You know, that maybe not enough of them yet. See it over in the Netherlands. So there you have it. You can keep Warren, even if the bin chicken says no.
Gotta love it, man. Got to love that.
Send Warren to the bin chickens. Keeping the faith. There you go. You got to keep the faith. November 5th, drinking in tears either way. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here, Jeff. Let's do it. So we'll see you
minutes.
Saturday.
3 minutes. 2 minutes.
Saturday. One day, only Saturday. Make it great. Yeah, that's right. I think I was looking at the wrong time clock there, but Jeff, every once in a while, like I just saw this come up in the feed here. Like, I'm not gonna play the sound on this. But I've never seen anything like this, Jeff. This basketball player he's committed to Florida Gators, right? University of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put this on the screen here. He's 8 inches taller than Shaq. Look at this kid. This is high school, but look at this kid. I don't think he's a particularly good basketball player. I think he just looks like an adult playing with children. Watch this. Watch the size of him compared to the other people. He barely leaves his feet.
Look, that's crazy. That's insane.
Look at him. Now watch when
they can't stop him.
Look at him. Are you gonna
Oh my God.
You're never gonna go up there in the sky and get the ball. It's too much. Look at him. It's like a bunch of kids trying to pull it away.
That's insane. That's too much.
It's crazy, right?
That's insane that he just walks up to the basket. Boom. This doesn't have to jump.
Oliver Rue is now listed at 7'9", 8 inches taller than Shaq. He's almost 8 feet tall. I mean, look, he's 7'9". He's just 3 inches shy of being almost. Look, that's massive. I've never seen 7'9". Has there ever been a 7'9" basketball player?
I don't know, but that's a lot of calories that he has to consume.
This Wall Street Silver says, let's just pencil in the Gators in the Final Four right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You just stand at the basket and just block everything, Well,
I wonder if they just bring them. Do they hear?
I was like, this is crazy talk.
All right, so the tallest was George Moreson and Manute Bol.
Manute Bol, yeah, I remember Manute Bol.
7'7".
He's taller than that. 7'9".
Who was 7'6"? Sean Bradley, Yao Ming, Taco Fall. But is that it? That was the tallest? Who's the current tallest? 27 players have been listed at 7 feet 3 inches or taller Only 3 are active, and that was the 23-24 season. That's amazing. So here he comes at, how tall was he? 7'9"?
7'9". That's unbelievable. Jeff, I bet you didn't have NBA basketball on your bingo card for tonight's show. I bet you
I did not. I did
if
not.
I told you we were going to be talking NBA, you've been like, "Are you kidding me?" No.
You know what's crazy? The tallest person ever that they know,
Jordan,
1918, 8'11", Robert Pershing Wadlow, weighed 439 pounds.
Problem is, when you're that big, it's usually you kind of have some kind of issues with walking, and it's like your body.
Yeah, it's amazing. Shaq was, wow, it's amazing. He was built 7'1".
Mark says Muggsy Bogues. Remember Muggsy Bogues? He was like 5'6", playing in the NBA. It looked like he was. I was like, come on, dude. That guy was great, though, man.
Oh, there he is.
Anything, Muggsy Bogues. I remember him. Saturday morning, possible XRP settlement talk. Boom.
There we go. That's what we're going to talk about. That's our title. XRP settlement talk. Boom.
It's settled. Boom. 5-3. Oh, he was 3? Whoa. I thought it was like 5-6. Oh my God.
Wow.
And the NBA, that's quite the accomplishment.
When was that? What year was that?
Muggsy Bogues played for a long time too. Muggsy.
There's a lot of talk about this kid. 7'9". He set the world record as the tallest teenager. Is he Canadian? He's Canadian.
No, that's why he's not good at basketball, Jeff.
Let's see. Oliver Rio. Wait, what was his name?
You know what Muggsy Bogues' real name was? It was Tyrone.
No, this is somebody else. It's a different article.
14 seasons, Jeff, he played for. Most NBA players don't play for 6.
Sorry.
14 seasons.
Is that his name? Rio?
Rio.
Am I looking at the same article?
It's the one.
According to the Gators athletic director, the 18-year-old is now listed at 7'9", taller than when he entered the program. Meanwhile, the Canadian giant weighs an imposing 290 pounds.
Damn. I'd like to follow him and get him following you, man. Boom.
Ed. Man,
There's
crazy.
Muggsy right there. 14 season career. That's incredible.
Wait a minute. It says on the court, Rio is also nearing professional status, having appeared with Canada's national team in several FBI events, including the 2024 U18 FIBA America, 23 U19 World Cup, 2022 U17 World Cup, and the 2021 U16 America's Championship.
He just looks like a particularly good basketball player. He just looks like he's tall. The way even the way he was like
NBA.
Shoot, I don't know. What are you gonna do, Muggsy Bogues? That's something I haven't thought about Muggsy Bogues in a long time. All right, man. That's it. That's all we got.
Now we're over time.
Talk about NBA.
Let's wheel it back. Now we're over.
Now we're
3 minutes.
Now we are over 5-3. Unbelievable. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on Saturday morning. Coming in strong. See you guys on the next one. Chip and Jeff out. Should I leave?
Let's get out of here. Let's stay for the next hour.
I almost hit the end stream. I was like, that's the wrong button. Let's go.
Oh, we're just going to...
Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Well, wait, what?
Wait, what? What?
All right.
What?
I mean,
Mark said, great show.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Good. Ready? Okay.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.